Not talking about Fred's dad, Kenny, who passed away this year at 96 years old, and then Fred just started talking about how influential he was, and even though he died at a ripe old age, it still sucked, and he lost his pal and his dad, and they were, very close their whole life, and he was, all of a sudden we started to get all welled up here. But it was great. It was fun talking with Fred and everything else. Are we hot here? Okay, everybody, welcome. 8:30 on a Thanksgiving Eve Wednesday morning, and I have with me three special guests today. Wilton Beavers' own WHS. We have, introduce yourself, guys.
Drew Keith.
Owen Milder.
Jordan Dewsbury.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you guys were the football captains, right?
Yeah, we were three of them. There were six total, but we were three of them.
Three of the football captains. And the Wilton Beavers just had a tremendous football season. I want to talk about that. But like I was telling you guys earlier, I'm not a diehard sports guy, so we're gonna talk a little bit about football, but I want to hear about you guys as people and who you are and kind of what makes you tick here. But let's kick this thing off. So I wanted to start by asking you guys, at what age do you feel like you had become a fan of Wilton High School athletics? Like, when did you start paying attention to it? Like, rooting for the home team, if you will, because it hasn't been 18 years. Yeah. So kick us off, Drew.
I would say I had older siblings who played sports at Wilton before me, and I think my parents did a really good job of getting me into it and getting involved, whether I was young and getting involved with the student sections who were in high school or whatever that was. But
when did you start to notice like you cared? Was it 10, 11, 12?
I think honestly it was probably like eight or nine, and I really knew I loved sports. I was asking my parents, when's the next sporting event? Like anything, like what can I get to? I want to go.
Okay, so you were rooting for the Beavers.
Yeah, for a long time.
At an early age.
Yeah, for sure.
How about you, Owen?
Like he said, back in the day, we used to have a kids student section at the volleyball games. Like the high schoolers would be on the right and we'd be on the left. All three of us used to be in the student section. But so yeah, around 8 is when we started cheering for volleyball. But I'd say like football is normally maybe 12 or something, because you used to go to football games and play football with your friends, not pay attention to the games. But I started to really pay attention to actually playing football around 12 or so.
Yeah, like when you were 12, if Wilton won or lost, it mattered to you. Jordan, how about you?
So I actually was a ball boy for the football team since I was 7 or 8. So I've been a part of the Wilton football program for a long time now. So I always knew if we won or lost, because my dad was a coach and all of his friends were coaches. So I've been rooting for sports since I was 7 or 8 years old.
Okay. So I think it'd be safe to say that you guys have been fans of the Wilton High School athletic program for probably 10 years.
Yeah.
To be on the safe side.
Yeah.
So you guys make it to state football for the first time. You make it to the Dome for the first time in Wilton school history, right? And you do it by beating Iowa City Regina. And I've heard conflicting stories. How long has it been since Wilton defeated Regina in a football game?
It was 1988, which we didn't actually really know that until a reporter came up and told Coach Hetzler after the game. But we were all under the impression that, because if you look on the main website or resource that people use now for Iowa high school sports is Varsity Bound. And if you look back on there, it goes back probably 20 years, 25 years. And it showed that we hadn't beaten him a single time. So we were under the impression that we had never beat Regina in football history, of Wilton.
Well, in 1988 was a long time ago, too.
Yeah. So then the reporter came up and told Hetzer that, and he's like, yeah, honestly, I didn't know that either. But, we knew it had been a long time, and that was obviously in the back of our minds. But
okay. Yeah. So you guys make it to the Dome by beating Iowa City Regina for the first time since 88 or prior. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge deal. I'm sure it was a huge deal for you guys as Wilton athletic fans of the last 10 years. However, there's a lot of people in and around this town that Wilton is their team. You know, on Sundays they might root for the Packers or the Chiefs or the Vikings or the Bears or whatever, but when the rubber meets the road, the Wilton Beavers is their team. And they have been fans for 20, 30, 40 years. Mm-hmm. And then it's you guys that make it to the Dome for the first time in school history. That's huge. So my question is, and I'll start with Jordan, has that really started to be absorbed yet? I mean, you've been a fan for 10 years, but you gave people in this community something they've never gotten to experience.
Yeah.
At what point do you think that really starts to kind of sink in?
I think it'll set in more towards, like, when, like, wrestling's done for me, just because, like, it's just, like, going right into wrestling after football. Like, you don't really have time to, like, sit down and, like, watch it back, really.
Sure.
So it's just, like, as soon as wrestling's done, I'm sure, like, I'll, like, be watching my highlights from the season and, like, see the Dome. And, like, it obviously sets in a little bit right after, but you still haven't, like, you haven't got the feeling of missing football yet from it.
Still coming down off that high.
Yeah.
How about you, Owen? What's your take on this?
Yeah, exactly what he said. We played our game Friday, and I came home Friday night. Saturday morning, went to wrestling practice. Like you said, you're just right into it. You don't really have time to sit down and think about it that much.
There's a different kind of mentality when it comes to you nutty wrestlers. You know, you just have that hardwired mentality of like, well, we got to get to, that was great, but we got to get to work on the mat here. Now, Drew, you're not a wrestler.
Nope.
So you maybe have had a little bit more time to let it kind of sink in. Tell me your point of view from this.
So actually, we all went up and watched that state championship game the week after we lost in the semifinal game, and I think honestly, I was just kind of pissed off. Like,
yeah.
And I still kind of am. Like, you know, it sucks you run into like a juggernaut like that, but I think you know, we had a lot of individuals on that team who really, really cared and really, you know, like for some people that's their life. You know, like when they go home. Might not enjoy many things, but when they're on the football field, they have a lot of fun, and some things like that are kind of hard to get over. I think, you know, eventually it's going to settle in, but for me and just like how competitive I am too, it still eats at me quite a bit.
Do any of you guys have plans of playing football after this, or you done?
I think I'll be playing football at the next level. I haven't decided where yet. It's either going to be football, wrestling, or track. I haven't really came down to a conclusion, but football is definitely number one right now.
I'm stuck between football and wrestling at the moment.
Football's my number one, yeah.
So, to one degree or another, you all have aspirations of potentially continuing to play somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Wartburg kind of situation. You know, I'm just pulling one out of thin air.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So, I would suspect that probably this whole state-bound adventure you guys went on, it's probably going to get sweeter as time goes on. I have to imagine it's going to be like a fine wine, because there again, I don't think you guys can fully understand how important your football journey was this year to the community and everyone who has any sort of tie to Wilton. It was a huge, huge deal. And I know you guys were probably bummed, like, we didn't make it as far as we wanted to. It's like, you made it farther than anybody else ever has.
Yeah.
You know, you gave such a gift to the community, to the school, to the program. Next year and the following year, whatever happens will happen. But in this point in time, you guys are number one. You went as far as you could. So congratulations. And I suspect that it's going to start to sink in a little bit more over the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to see some family. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
And then
Jordan.
we haven't even had our banquet yet, our end of the season banquet. So I'm sure it'll sink in even more, because like that'll be the last time that we really see our coaches, all of them together for the last time of our football career.
Yeah.
Do you think a sport like football, I know it goes without saying with wrestling, but do you think a sport like football you'll always have a relationship with those other players, whether you're, quote, buddies with them or not? you might see them 20 years down the road, and you still kind of have that. It's almost kind of like a wolf pack. You got that scent on you where you're like, I remember we went to battle with you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you said it perfect right there. We went to battle like every week. Even the younger kids every week going to battle. When we get into postseason stuff, our postseason this year was 4 weeks long. So every week, those kids who maybe don't step on the varsity field as much, like every week they got to come and run scout team against the starting guys, and they're going to battle every day, for us. So it's everyone was really close, and I think as older guys, we really respected those younger guys too, because it gets to be a long season, get to those playoff games, and it gets long and it gets hard, but they stuck with it every day, and they were awesome. All
right. Enough sport talk, because we could chat about this, and I am legitimately interested. But I'm interested too. Coming from a guy who left the halls of Wilton High School 24 years ago, of how things have changed, how they haven't. Like, for example, something small. Like, do you guys care about people's cars? Can you think of anybody off the top of your head that has a really badass car or truck up at that parking lot?
The only person I could think of is like Ian Harsh. He has like a pretty cool race car, kind of.
Yeah. Is it his daily driver?
Yeah.
Okay, like a blah, 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 type of race car, but like what is it? Do you know?
Is it a Mustang?
No.
It's something else.
I think it might be more of a Toyota or something.
Kale Caffrey, he's got like this, I don't even know what kind of truck it is, but just this old truck, sits low to the ground. He's like got a long mullet, whatever.
And it's a cool vehicle.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty loud too.
Yeah.
That's, it's interesting how the culture always changes, with every generation.
Yeah.
Because that was a huge deal back in the day, right? Like cars were a part of your image and who you were as a person. It just seemed like it would be neat it's too bad there's not historical photos of what the school parking lot looked like over the years. I was talking to some guys your age not long ago, and they're like, cars just are a means of transportation.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily a means it doesn't strike me that you guys you really care. Just I want a reliable vehicle to get me where I'm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think part of it's probably how you grow up too. If you grow up with, around sports cars all the time, you're probably going to be a little bit more interested. But if you grow up and you're just like, yeah, I just need somewhere to get me from point A to point B, then I think it's kind of how your mindset maybe.
Do you guys all grow up in sports households?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tell me about that.
Well, my dad only did football in high school, and my mom didn't do any sports. But then, like, my grandpa played sports in high school, and he was pretty good at them. And then my uncle played basketball, but no one's really ever done, like, football, wrestling, and track for me. But they've always watched sports, and so
yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like, are sports on TV at home
all the time? Like every day, we're watching football or basketball or baseball or wrestling, whatever sport's on, we're watching it.
You, Owen?
Yeah, I mean, I was born into a wrestling family. My parents are from Columbus Junction, a well-known wrestling town, and so right as I came out of the womb, I mean, I was getting taught a wrestling stance, and my dad made the decision to leave Columbus Junction and move to Wilton. We're the only family that has done that, but I don't know. That's all I've ever known is just wrestling and football, just sports, all in general.
My dad wrestled in high school. That's all he did. And then my mom went on and she played basketball and softball at college. She won a national championship with Kirkwood in basketball.
No kidding?
Yep. It was the first one there.
Give us your mom's name for everyone who doesn't know.
Julie Baker.
Okay.
It was 96, I believe, when she won the national championship at Kirkwood.
I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that.
She's going to love that. I said that, but...
Good for you, Julie. Yeah.
But yeah, no, sports on all the time, every day. And that's obviously with my parents too, but just me like following along with it. And I think it's on all of our social media feeds all the time too. So, but.
Do kids, I'm sorry, you're not kids, right? I'm sorry. I'm showing my age here. Do high schoolers, do they date?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, do you go out on a date? Do
That-
you like
that-
go to like chill? Do you not Chili's here in town, but like Chili's restaurant in the Quad Cities, or like do you say, hey, do you want to go to Texas Roadhouse and get a steak?
I will say it kind of depends on the person. Like me, like I have a girlfriend for like 4 years now, but I would say I try, because like I think that's important. But also this day and age, it is I think a little bit more rare. Like, you know how you have like, oh hey, let's call Artie's and let's eat at home. Like,
Yeah.
You have that aspect, but I don't know. I think it's important to do that stuff once in
Are
a while.
you guys don't have a girlfriend?
No, I do. I've been dating the same girl for a while now too.
Well, that's weird if you're dating the same girl. How's that work, man? No, I know what you meant. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to, especially during wrestling season and football. She plays volleyball and basketball. I play football and wrestling. And sometimes your practice ends at 7 o'clock and you're already ready for bed. You're home and showering and you're doing homework or something. Like, it's hard to, so we try and do stuff on the weekends, but sometimes you can't get stuff done like that.
So, like, how does the dating scene though? How does it work? Because do relationships in general these days start virtually? Is it now via text and then FaceTime and then eventually you meet out in the physical real world? Like, how does it
I
work?
would say that's probably the majority. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably the majority, I would say. Just with, like, Snapchat's just a big one. Snapchat's huge.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's a thing called Quick Ad. There's just a bunch of random people. A lot of times they'll find people, like, close to you if you share your location or whatever, but, like, and people will just go and add just random people they don't even know, and then, I don't know. But
So, in other words, through Snapchat, it's almost like an easy way to fling something out there, just hi or whatever, right?
Because, again, you can hide behind that screen. So it's like, oh, I'm just going to send this. If they don't do anything, then, oh, well, like, don't even know them anyway.
A lot of people use their phone to their advantage just because they reach out to girls that live farther away and they're just like, oh, I'll never see them.
Yeah. What's your take on this, Jordan?
I don't have a girlfriend personally,
Yeah.
but if I had a girlfriend, I would take her out on dates, obviously, and buy her flowers. But
Do you want a girlfriend?
yes, I do want a girlfriend. For anybody out
He
there,
is single.
I am single.
Well, I mean, football captain beat Regina. I'm sure that's all you got to do. Just print that on a T-shirt, right?
Yeah.
I wrestle and I
But,
was on the football
I
team.
also am very busy. I have practice till 7 o'clock every night, and on weekends I usually just hang out with my friends. So I really don't have time for a girlfriend. But if I did, I would make time for her.
I almost wonder if it's more difficult to get into a actual relationship with someone because of the ease of chatting online, or is it more easy come, easy go kind of thing? Like, you have a full menu of people that you can interact with.
I personally think it's harder. I mean, obviously I don't know, how it was without the phones and whatever, but like there's just so much that I think, it's hard. You see, like, Snapchat has a best friends list. So you have your top 6 best friends, and like that's going to show who you're talking to all the time. So like that's always an issue with some people, or like, whatever it is, but yeah, I don't know. I like social media for, it captured a lot of memories from the football season, actually.
Sure.
I love those things, and then other things I just kind of, just all right.
Like you said, with dating over the phone and stuff, like, if you've never met them before and you've been texting them for a while, they could be hiding personality over the phone, and that sucks because you guys used to interact all the time without phones and stuff, but now there's phones and you can be a fake person behind the phone and be different in person.
You bet. And everyone's phone is constantly dinging and buzzing and everything else. I would imagine that there is almost a heightened sense of jealousy and like nervousness of like, what was that noise on your phone? Is there that back and forth between guys and girls these days of like, or do you just have to let go and be like, hey, that my phone dings as much as hers dings, and I just have to believe that everything's on the up and up?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the person. I think you got to be self-confident enough to, not have to worry about that stuff. But That's something you probably just got to balance. But I do think, like you said, like we actually just talked about it in our senior life skills class, like our dopamine levels, and like someone gets that like on an Instagram post or something. It's like, oh, that makes me feel good. Like, they're searching for that like satisfaction. It's like, I think that has gotten carried away a little bit in this day and age. But
I think that's great. You guys are taking like a course like that, especially talking about dopamine levels, because you can get as much of it as you need by anything on your phone, right? And some more severe than others.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell yourself no. It's hard to go without when now you have it all at your fingertips.
Yeah. Yeah, for
How
sure.
do you guys make money? Do any of you guys make any money? You got time to make any dough?
Yeah.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I worked this summer a few times, but it's just really hard because like we had football every morning, and then I would try and do some other football drills or workout on the side, and then I had wrestling at night, and then I'd want to hang out with my friends some days, and it's hard with all the sports and stuff that we do over time. So I just do like small jobs with my grandpa and stuff like that.
So before we get to you two, I want to talk on this for a second, because I hear it all the time, and I got to admit, I have fallen victim to this mentality of the old kids today. They just don't want to work. They just want to sit around and everything else, right?
Yeah.
But I also get the sense of, one, there's a lot more distractions, and two, the sports seasons are a lot longer. The seasons for anything in general are longer.
Yeah.
Every activity is trying to squeeze as much blood out of the turnip as they can. So whether you're involved in chorus or the performing arts or sports, it doesn't matter. I feel like those seasons have just gotten a little bit longer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to have a different point of view on the matter of kids today just don't want to work.
Yeah.
What's your take on it, Owen?
Well, with the sports and stuff, I also think that sports nowadays have taken a complete turn, and it takes a lot more effort to be great at stuff today because sports have evolved in such a unique way. Like wrestling has changed completely from back in the day. Like it's completely different. But on the job, I had a job this summer as a cart boy at Geneva Country Club in Muscatine, and wasn't my favorite job, but it's pretty easy. So I like doing easy jobs for money, obviously. But
well, and sometimes those jobs that are somewhat humbling, it's not a glamorous job, but sometimes those are the best ones because it's almost like going to practice. Yeah. It's almost like 2-a-days in the heat. It's that this sucks. I don't want to be here. I don't see the point of being here. I don't necessarily need the money right now.
We
but
both worked for Ovison. We were on this trash routes with him. We know.
Ovison
great.
is also one of those jobs where you're just just get it done with.
Yeah,
it's hard.
You got trash and it's dripping down your arms. Like, nah.
I worked with my dad at Hahn, downtown Muscatine, and I would wake up at 3 in the morning and then get done at like 3 at night or 3 in the afternoon. I never want to do that again. It was the worst summer of my life, just nonstop working and then having to go to lifting and all that, and it just sucked.
But you did it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to eat it,
Better for it.
Do you feel like there are people up at that school right now that are your age, your peers, that would like to get a job but don't even know where to begin? And maybe they don't have time for a full-time or even a part-time job, but they got time for a part-time gig.
Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah. I mean, so actually, one of the ways I found I can make money, so during this football season, I saw there was an opening at Latchkey, which is the before and after school program at school. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, clearly that's before and after school, so that can fit in my schedule because I'll be at school. And so I started working in the mornings before school, and then I'd have football practice after. So I was able to work in the mornings, almost every day, and that was a great way to make money, and I still do it. And so now that I'm in the winter sport, I'm not in a winter sport this winter, so I can work before and after school. So it's a great way to make money. And then when track season rolls around, I'll just work in the mornings again, and it's I'll go from 5:30 or 6 in the morning till 8 whenever school starts, and then I'll just go to practice after. But it's a good way. I like it. So
you guys are money motivated.
Yeah.
You like money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what you're saying too, like with kids not wanting to work, I think there is a little bit, obviously, more of an issue that these days. But I do think it is like finding time is tough, and especially in small towns, like you said, with sports, it is. I mean, every coach wants the most out of their kid in a small town for sure, because you're not getting, like you said, your son goes to Pleasant Valley or whatever. Like,
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot to choose from at a big school like that. Here, it's like you want to get everybody out you can. You want to try, you got to get everything you can from everybody. But at the same time, some people may not like it as much. They want to go get a job. They want to do those things, and it's just tough. But
You guys mentioned that course you're taking. What was that called? What is
senior life skills.
Senior life skills. Are there other classes up at that school that are teaching you guys like real life stuff?
Yeah, there's like accounting and like a bunch of other classes that you can take just to
Like financial literacy, teach you about stocks and stuff.
See, this is great because the misconception is we should be teaching these kids about real life stuff. We should be teaching them about money and everything else. And here you guys are sitting here telling me we have those programs up there.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Tell me about accounting.
I took that for half a semester last year. Me and Damian Pestle were in it. He's also another football player. But like you learned about how to put stuff in books and how to do W-4s and all that other stuff.
That's fantastic.
And then I'm in a MCC class right now, and you literally learn about all sorts of college, like with one of our teachers from school. You learn about college, like how to plan for college, how to apply for college, and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I think that one's called Strategies of Academic Success.
Yeah, Drew took it
which
last
is like
year.
pretty. I mean, kind of says it right there in the title.
Are there any other courses? They still have ag,
Yeah,
right? And I
yeah,
think that's a staple, especially when you live in a rural area.
Yeah, the financial literacy one was like, how are you filling out like your checks and in your book, keeping your, all your financial history, kind of in a spreadsheet, and how to fill out the spreadsheet, how to keep it organized and stuff, which is really, I mean, like I was doing it one time with my parents. They're like, you need to pay attention to this because this will benefit you knowing this stuff. So
Like they teach you about like credit cards and how to get your credit up, and like I said, I forgot what I said about.
Well,
financial
we
literacy.
didn't have anything like this. I mean,
Yeah.
you might be able to take home ec and learn how to make a hardtack biscuit from the Civil War, but that was it, right? Like we had ag, and certainly we had shop.
Yeah.
But the generalized, like, here's how to balance money and here's how to work on finances, like real life stuff, that's key. I mean, because you can easily all of a sudden blink and you be 18, 19 years old and be $8-9 grand in credit card debt and go, what happened? I didn't know.
Yeah.
And there's people that are your age that are going through that right now, and they've dug a big hole.
yeah, exactly.
I think right now is a good time for the surprise.
Oh, you have a surprise? You said you had a surprise. I
Talking
said,
about
let's
high
wait.
school.
He's got a surprise for you.
Okay,
about high
where's
school
the surprise? Oh, I love surprises.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's got one for you.
All right, what do we got here? Oh, look at that. Oh, and dude, that's an original. Where did you get that?
Trisha Langley is a close family member of mine.
I
Not
love
family
Trisha.
member. She's friends with my family.
Trisha Hartman, as I
Yes.
grew up knowing her. She was a huge supporter of the Joe Show. So that's great. Did she tell you anything about it?
She didn't really. I talked to Hetzler about it a little bit yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, certainly this isn't about me, but you wore the Joe Show shirt, so yeah, that was a fun time. I'll give you the short elevator story. My summer before I got into my sophomore year, I'll never forget. I was in the shower and I was thinking, what can I do to increase my popularity? Literally, that was my thought process, right? And I thought, you know what? We've got this public access TV station in town, and I'm going to create a show about Wilton, and I'm going to make a show. Kind of similar to what we're doing here, but I mean, back then there was no YouTube or anything like that. It was like a camcorder with the tape that would go in, and you'd have to edit it with the wheels. And Randy Cole, if he's watching, he was the brains behind the operation. He would point and shoot and edit all the video.
Yeah.
And that was a television show that was on every Thursday night at 7 o'clock for 3 years my sophomore year through my senior year, and it played in Muscatine, Wilton, Durant, Columbus Junction.
Really?
And it was just me and a group of friends trying to do anything entertaining. You've heard the movie Wayne's World. This was pre-Wayne's World. It was just one of those things, and it was like a Wayne's World in a small town.
That's what Hetzler said. He said you guys were like a mini Jackass. You did like some challenges or something. He said I think he said he remembers you trying to chug milk or something.
It was we had there was like 10 guys in my parents' kitchen, and we were doing shots of lemon juice. And not like even out of a lemon, like the synthetic crap that you'd squirt out of the fake lemon thing. And we did a lemon shot contest, and I think the winner was Dylan Hagan. He ended up doing like 16 shots of straight garbage lemon, and guys were throwing up on camera, and we put it, and they let us put it on the public access TV show, and it was fun. I mean, we used to have Joe Show night at the basketball games. We'd throw out Joe Show T-shirts.
Awesome.
My ego got overly inflated. First day of school, my junior year, was Joe Show day at school.
Wow.
And imagine how much of a cocky just dick you can potentially turn into if you go to school the first day of school your junior year and the principal is wearing a Joe Show shirt with a tie on the outside of it. It's like you really thankfully I had a few people that knocked me back down to earth, and that did me some good, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Life
Happened, and ultimately I think that's why this kind of has reignited my interest in just telling stories around the community, because really that's what it was. It was just people around the community doing cool stuff. And so thank you for wearing that. That is a rare bird. We sold a few of them, but I don't think there's a whole lot of them left. So thank you, Tricia, for sharing that. Let's get back to money here real quick. Do you guys talk about like crypto? Is that like in your purview, or that's like whatever? That's like talking about the stock market.
I mean, we see it on like Instagram and Twitter and all that, but I don't think most of us. I bet there's some high schoolers that are into it, but I don't think we are.
I listen to some podcasts that, like, they're obviously older people, but they'll talk about it, and I never thought I cared about it, and then I kind of started listening to some of the stuff, and I was like, I think if I could really educate myself on this, it would probably do me some good. And then so I watched some people like Bert Kreischer, and then like not always the most knowledgeable people, but like super funny. And
dude, that guy's really funny.
Yeah, he's awesome. But then there's some other people that listen to who will strictly talk about that. It's like it's kind of interesting. But
who do you guys follow? Like, do you have any certain? Well, let me ask you this: what is your app of choice? Like, is it TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube? Like, what's your, when you wake up in the morning and that little devil is sitting on your nightstand, he's like, pick me up.
In the morning?
Open me up. Like, what are you clicking on first?
Probably TikTok, honestly. Okay. I think so. I mean, Snapchat just to communicate with, like, the friends and the girlfriend, obviously, and whatever. But, like, honestly, I hate Snapchat. I don't like it. If Snapchat didn't exist, I'd be perfectly fine. But I would say TikTok.
How about you, Owen?
I'm definitely an Instagram guy.
Okay.
I usually wake up and go on Snapchat, answer people, and then I go on Instagram because, like, you got Instagram Reels, and those are always hilarious. Like, I'll be laughing so much in the middle of the night or, like, in the morning, and then you can pretty much get anything on there. You can get sports, comedy, any sports shows or stuff like that, too.
Give me an account I should follow or a personality I should follow that I might not be.
On, like, anything?
Anything, yeah. Like, I feel like I'm fairly hip. I feel like I'm following all the right people, but, there's every once in a while I'll be talking with friends, and they're like, oh, do you follow so-and-so? I'm like, man, no, I don't, and then I've become a fan. Like, I'm sure you guys follow Theo Vaughn and Kill Tony and all those guys, right? I mean, they're great.
Sketch. You got to follow Sketch.
Yep.
It's
Sketch.
Or Jinxie. Or
Jinxie, yeah. Sketch is good. He's comedy.
And who's Jinxie?
They both play video games and they stream, but they're really funny.
So they will be doing commentary while you're seeing their screens, like a split screen.
Yeah, right. Or they do like some.
Well, they'll do like I think last night one of them was doing like a a worldwide like Kahoot. You know what Kahoot is?
No.
It's like, okay, so Kahoot is we do it a lot in school, but so it's a website where you go on and there's like their quizzes, and you'll have a certain amount of questions, whatever, and then there'll be 4 answers to pop up, and you gotta like click on the answer, whatever. But anyone can join. So you have a join code.
Okay.
You put in the join code, and then you'll get into the quiz. So these guys who have hundreds of thousands of viewers every time they view, this dude runs a Kahoot, and he had and he was freaking out 'cause he's so funny. He's freaking out because he's got like 100,000 people in there, and so he did one on like the country's flags. And oh my gosh, there were some people who would like put just the stupidest like answers to some of these flags.
So it's not a multiple
And he would
choice. You
go
just
crazy.
you answer it like
Yeah.
you type
some
out
of
your
them
answer.
are multiple
Okay.
choice, and some of them you can type it out, whatever. But like, oh, it was funny. I was getting a kick out of it.
And then also Kai Cenat, he just broke a record for streaming not that long ago.
What record?
Most subs in a month, I
Yeah.
think. And
What's
He's
a sub?
So a sub is called a subscribe. Like when you subscribe to something. I know
Okay.
you've heard of that, but it's a subscriber. And so when you subscribe to someone, it costs money. So that's how they make their big money. Is
like-
they'll say, "Hey, subscribe to me, and you'll have no ads for every time I stream.
Yeah.
You'll have, if you comment, your comment's more likely to be seen if you're a subscriber.
Yeah, there's some value
Like,
there, right?
They feed you some stuff that's like, try to get you to subscribe to them, but."
Go ahead.
And then I think right now he's actually been streaming for like 20 days straight or something like that. He streamed the whole month October.
Yeah.
He just streamed with Snoop Dogg last night, and like
He just
How long
Kevin-
is his
Kevin
streams?
Hart.
Couple hours?
Oh, no.
No,
They'll go like 12,
24/7.
13.
He doesn't turn it
Yeah.
off.
Or like the one he's on right now, 20-day straight stream, he won't turn it off.
Guy's making a bucket load
Oh, yeah.
of money because
he'll sleep overnight on the stream,
Yeah.
and people will
Just
will
watch him
watch.
sleeping.
People will watch. It's insane.
he's had Snoop Dogg on. He's had like a bunch of famous people that just sit there and talk with him.
And this dude's name is Sketch.
No,
Oh,
this one's Kai
Kai
Cenat.
Cenat.
Okay, don't let me forget that. We'll follow him here.
He's funny. They're all funny, but
All right, you got to promise me to follow this account.
okay.
On TikTok, I follow Hamster Rave. Have you ever heard of this?
No, but it sounds funny.
Dude, this dude, he's got like 60 hamsters in this giant pen thing.
Yeah.
And and he's got the normal hamster wheels, but then he's got these hamster dishes that spin on like a stick, so they spin this way. And he plays rave music with rave lights, and these hamsters just run around on the wheels and on the disc, and they get going on the disc so fast they fly off, and then they hop right back on. Mm-hmm. And it's just a live stream of like 50 hamsters raving and running around. It's the dumbest thing, and I feel so ignorant after I watch it, but sometimes it's a nice escape from some of the other podcasts that I'll watch.
Yeah.
So I'll follow Kai. You
Yes.
guys follow Hamster
Hamster
Rave.
Rave.
Hamster Rave. Which, speaking of that, you want to plug your socials?
Sure.
Plug your socials here, Jordan.
I'm just Jordan Dusenberry on everything, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and then I guess my Snapchat's Doozy27.
Okay. Ladies, Doozy 27.
He's still single. We said it
Sort
earlier.
of talking to someone.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm not
okay,
gonna-
okay. We'll see.
Okay. All right.
questionable.
What do you got, Owen?
I think I'm just Owen Milder on Instagram and stuff. Follow me on Snapchat at omilder1.
Okay.
And
Boys only.
TikTok, follow Beaver Wrestling. It's our wrestling account for high school, and we post funny TikToks on there.
Oh, for sure. We'll
Beaver
follow
Wrestling without the W for wrestling.
R.A.
It's just
that.
wrestling.
RASSLIN.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Mine's Drew Keith and then the number 3 after for pretty much everything. Also TikTok. About 2 years ago, I made some videos walking around the school. Where I'll just go up to people and be like, what's your name? And then I'd ask like their occupation. It's kind of like something like fun, whatever. People would say just like random stuff. And I'd be like, who do you think the hottest person in the school is?
Yeah.
And I just ask them it. And they answer. It actually got a pretty good series. I got like 20, 30,000 views on both of them.
Good for
And I
you.
was like, yeah, this is good. And I didn't keep going. I don't know why I didn't keep going, but it was fun for a while it lasted.
Okay, so this is a perfect segue into what my vision is here, guys. Like, I'm loving the Facebook Lives. I'm loving it. But let's face it, Facebook is kind of for us coffee drinking old folk, right? Not everybody, you guys aren't hopping on Facebook every day, right?
Yep.
But I feel like if I'm going to dive into the people within the community and learn about their story and who they are and how this town was built. I can't do that without including the younger group up at that high school, because you guys are the future of this community. You are the here and now, right? Yeah. We're all doomed unless you guys pick up the ball and run with it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I want to get to know, especially the seniors, right? I want to get to know each one of these seniors. If they have an interesting story to tell, I want to hear it and I want to share that story. But we can't really do that on Facebook, right? Yeah. I want to do that on TikTok. I want to do that on my TikTok page, and I want to tell each of your stories individually, or 2 people at a time, 3 people at a time. It doesn't matter. And I want to do it live. I think the live thing is the way to go. I don't have time to edit this stuff. Yeah. In order to get live status, you got to have 1,000 followers. And I just started this TikTok page. Is it Joe Braemeier or Braemeier Joe? I think it's Joe Braemeier. Yeah, you can just search Joe Braemeier. You'll find me. I'm sitting in this chair looking like an oaf with a headset on. If we can get to 1,000 followers on there, what I will do is I will commit to having at least one senior Monday through Friday in here for 15 minutes. I want to get to know about them. It's great to have the jocks in here, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't want to talk to just the jocks. If we've got an established musician or an up-and-coming someone who's got some musical ability, I love the performing arts. I loved that. I was one of those rare birds in high school that enjoyed playing sports, but I loved being on stage, right? I want to get to know the artsy kids. I want to get to know the athletic kids and everybody in between. Mm-hmm. So if we can get that up there, then I'll commit to that. So I'm going to knight you guys to help, the old like, share, follow, and all that stuff to get us up to 1,000. And then I certainly want to have you guys come back and hang out, because this has been fun. I feel like we could talk for a long time.
Oh yeah.
But I know you guys got wrestling practice coming up here, don't you? You both do, right? Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
I'm going to go watch my little brother's basketball scrimmage.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to work.
Where again?
The before and after school program up at school.
Yeah.
So
wonderful.
Yep.
I think I've learned a lot from you guys. I think we've kind of rolled out some misconceptions, and I want to continue to do this. I think there's misconceptions over here. I think there's misconceptions over there. Mm-hmm. And I got to say, from what I've seen so far, that school's doing a damn nice job, and your folks are doing a damn nice job. So thank you. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
And I wish you guys the utmost success, but we'll come back. We'll do this. We'll stay in touch, and we'll go from there.
For sure.
Drew, Owen, and Jordan, guys. Hey, and let the studio audience give them a hand. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, guys. Thanks. Tell your friends and family I all said hi, and tell Trisha thank you and get that back to her. That needs to go back in the acrylic case, right? Sure. All right, guys. Well, listen, you guys have a super duper day. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will see you soon.